What's up, crazy people? All right, Dr. Jacques Moser here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, today we're going to be talking about some weird stuff. All right, because it keeps popping up. One of the things that I wanted to address as well is that health, right off the bat, health is not how you look or how you feel. I'm not going to stress that too much, or maybe I will stress it more. But a lot of folks will say, hey, you're healthy if you look good or you feel good, and it's not the case. So people will use me as a prime example, and that's actually what I'm going to be going over today. I know that I said it probably 3 weeks ago that I told you guys I was going to go over my wife and myself's food allergies and stool test. But food allergies I'm going to hold off on, but the stool test I'm going to be going over today. So, excuse me, don't judge me for being the healthiest person in the world. I'm incredibly proactive whenever it comes to my health, but we all deal with certain things whenever it comes to health. We all have health challenges. So, when I tell people I picked up 3 bacterial infections over the last year, people look at me like, what are you talking about? How are you sick? It's not that I'm sick. I just picked something up. And there's a reason why I picked something up. And it's something that keeps coming and popping up day in and day out over and over and over again. I just had a call with a patient in Maryland. I know his sister was dealing with some mold poisoning. It sounds like he may also be in the same boat as she is. And I wanted to break it down and basically use my experience and my example of myself as what can happen and how you can actually properly test for this stuff. So let's break this down. So for the past little while, we moved out of a moldy house. We knew it was moldy after my health started going down after we first started opening this practice. And we had a confirmation when my mother-in-law came and stayed with us, and she woke up 2 mornings in a row with a screaming headache. And she was sleeping in our guest bedroom. And every time I kind of walked into the house, I would forget not my name, but I would forget what I was doing. I wouldn't know, I would just be so freaking lazy. All I'd want to do was just lay down on the couch. Then there were certain times where Megan and I would go to walk the dogs up at either Frick Park or over at Dark Hollow up in Oakmont. And I would walk down the stairs in the morning, and morning was usually the worst for me because my throat would feel like I just had sandpaper rubbed the whole way through. And then I'd have these weird aches and pains to try to get my body moving. Well, I know my chiro friend Jake, he worked on me like crazy, but I had this pain in my back that felt like somebody stabbed a sharpened 2x4 through my entire spine and was just basically moving me around and putting me down on the ground and made me want to cry. In fact, I did a couple times because I couldn't get up, I couldn't catch my breath, and I kept bringing myself down. So a lot of you may know that I talk about viscerosomatic reflexes a lot, which is where your organs can cause your back to hurt. Well, if your gallbladder is inflamed, you can have direct pain right out the back, but you can also have referral pain up into the right shoulder blade. So that's some things that I was dealing with as well, and I didn't know what the heck it was. So it was mold. So I got myself tested for mold, tested the house for mold, and I evacuated the area as soon as possible because we were renting at that time, and I wasn't going to pay for the mold restoration for that person's house. I just dropped it. He didn't even take care of the dang thing. He's a piece of crap. I won't throw his name out there, but he'll get his. I always believe in karma. He'll get what he has coming to him because I know he tried to immediately release the house, I guess, to somebody else as soon as we moved out, so that way he can continue to make money off of it. So he's a bad person. Anyways, so after we moved out of the property, we realized, well, we have some things that we still need to work on. I need to remove mold out of my body, and I need to work on it immediately. Well, I had done a stool test last year, and I came back clean bill of health. I just need a little bit of probiotics and a little bit of yeast support. Just at a microscopic level, nothing too crazy, just a little bit higher than normal. Got that back into balance, and I was good to go. Well, through recent exposures, going in and out and being exposed to mold, I still had some left over in my body, and I needed to work on pulling it out. Well, in the meantime, my gut was inflamed. I had massive GI issues. I had irritable bowel. Couldn't keep any weight on. My hormones kept going down, and I had all these weird aches and pains. So I'm like, what the heck is possibly going on? So Megan, we had our child, and Megan had the baby or whatever, and we were like, let's just retest ourselves. We're going to retest our foods. We're going to retest stool so that we can see where we are in terms of health, because we're all about not guessing. We always have to test it. So I'm going to pull up what my stool test came up showing, if I can do. Okay. Oops, there we go. All right, see if this, come on, get in the middle here. All right, so we can see, you can hopefully see my cursor here. So basically what I'm talking about is this stuff all right here, okay? So I got rid of the yeast Like I told you, I knew that I had that problem last year. It's all gone, so I'm not worried about that. But then we had this stuff over here. All right, so when we're talking about our bacteriology culture, it's basically what our bacteria looks like in our gut, in our GI system. So we had a 4 pluses, which is what I want for all of this in this entire column. And I did not have that, or do not have that. It was a 4 plus there, so I had 1. Then I had a 1 plus, which is incredibly low. NG is no growth. 2 plus, which is low. 4 plus, 4 plus. Commensals, not too much to worry about right now. And then boom, 3 massive bacterial infections in my gut. So again, people are like, well, you look incredibly healthy. How could you possibly have 3 bacterial infections? Well, it's quite simple, really. When you have mold, okay, let me switch back. When you have mold will destroy your gut, destroys your GI system, open and shut case. So what it will also do is it will weaken your immune system and allow your gut to be more susceptible to infections, yeast, okay, bacterial infections, yeast infections, and then parasites. Love a moldy environment. They love that bad environment. So they can grow and thrive with no questions asked. They love it, love it, love it. So with my mold, that as I'm trying to pull it out of the body, it still had a great environment for these 3 bacterial infections to still kind of be there. So in the meantime, basically, when I got tested previously with my stool, I didn't really have that mold exposure yet. I was working on getting into that house. Then we did get in the house, and then I tested then, and now it's all popped up here, so I got to work on killing it. So again, going back into these cultures here, health is not how you look at how you feel. I didn't feel fantastic. I'll be the first one to tell you that, but these guys right here are nothing to mess with, okay? Actually, look at that. I can zoom in and out. So scrolling down, again, we had nothing. We had rare yeast, no macroscopic either. Checked over here, just had a little bit of yeast in one of the parasite samples. Still nothing to be worried about. No parasites, no Giardia cryptosporidium. This test is also awesome too. I got another test result back. They actually tested for C. diff on a patient, came back positive, and some doctors are idiots, but that's beside the point. So going down in here, this is where we had some other things that popped up and basically confirmed irritable bowel, or your IBD, IBS, whatever you want to call it. Have to get these numbers back to normal. We need to start bringing them down, but they're inflammatory markers. So guess what was causing my inflammation? It was mold in my body. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Just because I keep forgetting to do that. All right, mold in the body. Now this is going to be surprising, but I was happy about this because last time I had my stool test done, I did have irritable bowel. I only had calprotectin come back as a positive, didn't have lactoferrin come back positive, but now I have both because of mold. But my immune system was hyperactive last time. It was 899, now it's 498. So it's coming back down to normal. We want that to be below 204. So it's heightened because I have infections, but I don't want it to be too crazy. Otherwise, I can have other issues that pop up. Short chain fatty acids, that digestion was actually pretty solid. I tested on health markers. I had acidic pH. Well, no wonder because I'm losing my stool. It's soft, okay? It was foreign, but it's not exactly the best culture for health and longevity. It's more a more acidic environment is going to be more fantastic for mold and bacteria. One of the reasons why I love doing these tests is because when you have a positive here, it's going to tell you what kills it, which is awesome. I get the health department calling me all the time because we know what kills these things, and they want us to jump to their antibiotics. And I'm not going to do that to a patient because it's going to hurt them. So we have some positives here. Going down to the next one, have some positives there. Positives there. Fortunately, I had some crossovers between all those. So basically, that gives me the gist of what I need to work on killing in my GI. So mold can wreck you pretty badly. And now here's one thing that can kind of be a test, if you will, for if you have mold. Now mold likes to hide in your gallbladder. It just loves to do that. So when you eat fats, your fats are going to stimulate your gallbladder to purge out some bile and bile salts to help to break down and emulsify the fats to make them absorbable, so that way we can take them in. Now I was doing healthier dieting where I was switching from more carbohydrates, I was switching to more fats and proteins, but all the while I was doing those fats, I was secreting more bile, which means I had more mold that kept coming out into my GI system, which kept causing more and more havoc. So a lot of folks, whether it's on a keto diet, paleo diet, or just you're starting to eat healthier fats in general, they'll have flare-ups, so they'll be more inflamed while they're eating fats. They're like, what the hell is going on? How am I more inflamed now? I'm eating healthier than I was before. I'm losing weight. It doesn't make sense. anytime you have a health condition, you're like, this doesn't make sense, inspect your house. Because you're probably going to have a mold issue, whether it's in the house that you're in right now, or maybe you had exposure in the past. It's usually going to be one of the big causing factors. And the more I dive into this stuff, the more I'm seeing more and more and more nasty things pop up. I had a patient that came in last week from Ohio. She had cancer. And I won't go into too much into cancer, but she had her gallbladder removed, and she had a portion, about 40% of her liver removed as well. She had a stent put in there between the liver and the column bile duct to be able to pull more stuff out into the digestive tract. And then as we were all sitting into the room, she had a daughter that was sitting right next to her who had these weird symptoms that were going on. So basically we had the family, but I was there to see the mom and the one daughter. And as we started asking more and more questions, we found out that they also have mold exposure. So get this, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is direct cause and effect, because I'll probably get a target put on my back, but there's a very strong correlation to what I'm about to say here. The father confirmed that there was mold in the house. Now, with their particular type of community that they are in, they don't have air conditioning, okay? So you have moisture that comes in. If it leaks in any portion of the house, if you don't have air conditioning, you're going to have, or you don't have a dehumidifier or anything, you don't have anything to get rid of the moisture in the house. You just become like this big sponge, and what likes to build and grow in that type of environment? Mold, okay? So you deal with mold here, and then you have more and more and more of an intake. It starts spreading throughout the house, okay? If you go down the basement, you're doing laundry in the basement, you're doing however you do these things, you're going to be pulling that mold wherever you bring those clothing, wherever you bring that stuff, and it's going to spread and spread and spread. So guess what? Mom had gallbladder removed. She had horrible digestive issues. She had horrible liver issues. And she had all this stuff happen. And guess what was also starting to happen? Her daughter was starting to have a lot of similar symptoms that her mom had. Okay? What was she having? A lot of referral pain with gallbladder. She was having gallbladder issues. If she eats fat, she noticed that she felt worse. There's a lot of things. If she went into the house, she would feel worse. If she went outdoors, she felt better. And then the dad again confirmed that, yes, there's mold in the house. He goes, what do I do about it? I'm like, well, you got two options. Either you move out of the house, or you hire somebody to come in and remediate the house, so that way there's no mold and you can live in confidence and peace and happiness. Now, if it were me, I'd get the hell out, just like I did with this house over here. And I know a lot of Wellness Way docs had mold in their homes, and they moved out somewhere in campers right now, some RVs, pretty nice though, and moved out until they can build another location where they know that there's absolutely no mold that's able to get into your homes. So the other thing this can crash is your hormones, okay? Because it's just so much massive inflammation that was one of the things that triggered me. Again, I started losing more and more weight because my testosterone started dropping down. I had no sex drive, no energy, no focus, just poop for brains, more or less. And I couldn't get to that next level, and I couldn't figure out why. Then I started putting the pieces together, and as I started to get rid of mold, I could feel my testosterone start to go back up. All my other symptoms started to go away. My main thing right now is I have 3 bacterial infections I just found out about like last week or 2 weeks ago that now I'm working on killing off because mold weakened my immune system enough. So when people say, hey, is it possible to have mold? Don't think that these people are crazy, all right? This is going to be the number one thing that I'm going to tell you, because I had another lady come in yesterday, also from Ohio. She said that nobody understands what the heck is going on with her. Nobody understands how she feels. Nobody understands. Guess what? It's because a lot of people don't know what the hell mold can do to the body. And when you say, oh, I have a moldy house, people are like, there's mold everywhere. Why is that even an issue? All you have to do is just clean it up, and then that's it. No, that's not it. If you clean it up and that's mold, or you kill off the mold, it becomes dry and it comes in and spreads out some more mold spores, you just pass that through the entire house, okay? The other thing on top of it too is mold likes to hijack the air ducts. So people run air conditioner during the summer, they run the heater during the winter, you're constantly blowing vents, you're constantly blowing mold all around the house. All it takes is a little deposit of mold here, a little deposit there, give it a little bit of moisture here, boom, that's miracle growth for mold, and then you will start depositing it all around the house and cause more and more and more growth. So when you're using the AC, you can experience a lot more respiratory issues. You can have a dry cough, you can have a sticky throat, okay, they call it sears. There's all kinds of stuff that rides along with this stuff, but the biggest thing you can do is feel for these people. Feel for these people who do have mold or have had exposure to mold. The other thing I want you to do is do not click on these jerks on Google. Say, hey, I have mold poisoning, what do I do? And they say, oh, just take this one miracle herb. If you have that one person that says, just take this herb, I want to reach through the screen and strangle them for you, because it pisses me off, because it's not just one herb. The first thing you need to do is get rid of the environment. Otherwise, you're going to keep causing insult to the body. So I can give you one herb for the rest of your life, but if you never leave that environment, you will never get rid of those symptoms. You will never get rid of the mold poisoning. So get out to begin with, okay, which is something that they always forget to say, because guess what? They want as much money as possible from you, because they can treat you for the rest of your life, because you will feel better on the herbs, but you will never fully be well. It sounds like a medical doctor. Keep taking this pill. Keep taking this, because you're going to feel better, but you will never be better, okay? So you got that going for you. So get out of the environment and work with somebody, work with one of the Wellness Way docs on how to remove the mold from your body. It's not easy. It's not, and it does take time, because as you can see, even if you're removing the mold from your body, you can still have a weakened immune system that can allow other things to grow in the body as well. So stool tests are absolutely imperative for you to run in order to make sure you do not have anything else popping up. And if you do, it will tell you how to kill it. So it'll give you confidence with what you're dealing with. You'll have that peace of mind. We're like, I'm not freaking crazy. This is great. I can finally kill this stuff. And then you can, again, take strides forward instead of taking steps backwards. So what do you do whenever it comes to testing mold? There's a number of different things you can do. If you're in the Oakmont area, if you're in Pittsburgh, we send people down to the medicine shop on Thursday mornings, and we have them run the mold panel, or the TGF beta 1 and the C4A count. That's one test you could have run. There is, I believe it's survivingmold.com. If you type in VCS screening test, you'll actually be able to go on. It's like a $15 test you can take, and it basically analyzes your eyesight, and it'll tell you, hey, you probably have some mold exposure or not. It's $15. It's super cheap, super easy to do it. Anyone can do it. Just follow the directions. If you wear glasses normally, wear your glasses while you're taking the test. And then if you have the screen image distance, you want to be about 18 inches away from your computer screen or whatever screen you're using to make sure you have that proper assessment here, okay? So there's lots of ways to do it. And if you do get that confirmation, the next thing you're going to want to do is test your house, okay? There's a number of different ways to test a house. You can hire a special third-party company to come and do it. We had they did vacuum samples for our house, and that confirmed that we did have mold in it. But there are a lot more specific tests you can have run. Just depends on how much money you want to spend to confirm whether or not you have the house. If you get a vacuum sample back and you did have some mold show up in it, that means your house is way worse than what you possibly thought, because literally they just try to vacuum it out of the air instead of analyzing it from the source. So yeah, long story short, still working on my health right now. This is my health journey right now. I love it because it gives me a chance to sympathize and feel for people, because I've been through this thing. Don't judge people how they look or how they feel and think that they're healthy. Everyone has their own health battles, and it allows you to build more experience. Don't get stuck in your struggles. Allow those struggles to build influence, so that way you can influence others and be able to reach out with a nice heart and a kind heart versus a cold heart that's like, I don't understand what you're going through. You sound ridiculous. You sound like it's made up. Okay, because if somebody doesn't have mold exposure in their body, or somebody is able to handle mold better than you, or their immune system is stronger than you, they will not feel the same way that you do. So for you to analyze, basically, like if you have somebody that has, you can have a genetic variant too for it. If you have somebody that has a genetic variant which makes you very potent and very alert, if you do have mold in the environment, and you have somebody that doesn't, you walk into the same environment and it does have mold in it, person with the genetic variant is going to want to get the hell out of the house as soon as possible. The other one's going to think that that person's crazy because they're in the same exact environment and they don't feel the same way. However, mold can accumulate in the body. The more you're exposed to it, the more you're breathing in, the more you're getting on your body, it will start accumulating in your body, and eventually you'll start having symptoms too. So don't let your body break down. Test it to confirm it. Test it in your body, test it in your house, get rid of it, and then that way you can get on your health journey. So if you have any questions, or if you know somebody who's dealing with mold, whether it's in Pittsburgh or wherever it is, reach out to a Wellness Way clinic around you. Just go to twwclinics.com. If you have questions, leave them in the comment box. Heather, I appreciate you tuning in there. Leave it in the comment box. Share this video if you know somebody who is suffering with this. I try to make this short and sweet, which is why I'm talking a million miles an hour. But yeah, any questions, reach out and have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Take care, everyone.